don't know. I'm always interested in people's stories of from their from when they were younger, how how religion affected their lives
Right.
from their parents,
Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
how they were brought up. That's how I've always looked at stuff. Not so much the society, but what their parents,
How they were indoctrinated, more or less.
yeah, how they.
And we are live now, by the way. Welcome,
Oh,
everybody.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
like when I was from in comparison to when I told you my story, how my parents
Yeah.
didn't really reiterate what what any religion was in a way, but some people do. They at home they might have figures on their wall or pictures or do certain things around the dinner table. Like I don't know if they you pray for your food or whatever you call it, and have to pray before you go to
Saying
bed.
grace.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, just those type of things. Yeah.
I've been to a few houses where people do that before they eat, and I was always just like, you know, just like, all right, you guys do what you got to do, and I just really want to eat here because it smells damn good. So
Well, we had to sing Grace when I was a kid.
you have to sing it.
Yes. They,
Now
Wow.
that might be
Okay.
more fun.
Okay, off you go.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my parents were like, they were more like liberal, which, see, there's good and there's bad. The good thing about my parents is they were not racist. They were all over the country. The bad thing about them is that one's narcissistic and the other one's kind of like borderline crazy. And told my sister that, you know, when she was 3 years old, she was evil by getting German measles and making my brother have rubella and just weird stuff like that. So, yeah.
She's evil because a virus got her.
Yes, because, yeah, that's.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, it's the conservative
I'd be like,
are always the worst ones. Yeah.
I'd be like, well, didn't your God create the virus? So,
Well, she just didn't. She was perfect. Yeah, so,
right.
yeah.
I
So,
wonder if people realize
yeah.
that perfect doesn't exist. There's no such thing as
No,
perfect.
it can't. It can't.
Absolutely.
Oh, you
Terry,
can
I
say
love your accent. Where are you from?
Ah,
me.
Yes.
I'm only from Australia.
Oh, I'm so sorry about what just happened. Actually, that's
yeah.
New Zealand, but it's close by.
Oh, you're cutting it close there.
Yeah.
never call an Aussie a New Zealander.
Okay, I'm sorry about what happened to your neighbors, even though they're not you. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was
Long
pretty
as,
harsh.
long as it doesn't happen here again.
Again?
Yeah, we've had mass shootings here in the past.
Oh.
Okay.
Port Arthur, a guy.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he went a bit silly down there.
Hello, Evans.
Hi, Evans.
Hey, Evans.
Hello. This is cool.
Yeah, this is Lydia. This is Evans. Evans, this is Lydia.
Hey.
Everyone else you already know.
I'm Terry. Hi, Evan.
Hi, Terry. It's nice to meet you. I know you're old and senile, so we'll just play along.
Yeah, I'm getting up there too, buddy. So
I am way up there.
Well, we actually, Lydia, you and I think we're pretty damn close to the same age. So
I was born in 59.
Were you 59?
Oh shit!
All right, you've got some years on me because I was a 66 kid. So
and here I was the oldest one, and now I'm not.
I just look young because I dye my hair, and I've just always looked like them. Like when I was 21, working in a
you behave young though.
Yeah.
I know.
I got blonde hair, and I'm fairly normal built, and people think I'm in my late 30s, early 40s.
That's good.
Well, I'm 24, and people always think that I'm like 18 or something because I'm really short.
So what does height have to do with age?
That's so you'll always look young. Look at it that way. Yeah.
Hey, Purple, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Orange. Or red, green.
Oh. Actually, I remember I was at a casino with my family, and I actually got someone, one of the workers there actually like checked my ID because I looked so young.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I had that in
Oh.
my 20s too. Yeah.
It's good. It's good in one way, but bad in another. Because like you've got to show your ID and everything. But then you'd like to be older for other things.
Yeah.
I have a good
Yeah.
friend who's 81 and she goes strong. She's wild.
Yeah, that's like my aunt Marlene. She's just turned 87, and she still goes like a spring chicken. That one.
That's the way to be. Yeah.
My mother-in-law's 95.
Wow.
95.
Wow.
95.
That's good. That's a good life right there.
Yeah, she's
Exactly.
still walking and talking.
Yeah, that's great. I hope I could do that at that age, if I even make it to that.
Yeah, I just hope I make it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I still want to be under my car at that age. That's what I'd like. Not under it dead. I mean under it fixing it.
My car ran me over.
So I'm not sure if I've met Lydia before. Or does she have a channel under another name?
Free from the way, but it's empty until I start doing some videos. I got to get on the stick and do something. I'll eventually get there.
Yeah, you can follow her on Twitter. It's actually
Yeah.
her Twitter handle is Free From the Way.
Okay.
So
I'm just
and then
getting
you'll
started
be able
on
to
it.
get updates. Yeah, well, hopefully
Same,
you become
really.
a little bit more of an activist.
I think I'm already following her.
Hey,
If the only activism I would want to do is Code Pink right now. Have you heard of them?
no, I can't say I have.
There's
Explain.
this gal named Medea Benjamin, and she does this stuff in DC where when all the like warmonger people are getting on there, she gets up there and goes, "What about Yemen, you idiot?" You know? Yeah, it's not very. Unfortunately, there's not enough anti-war stuff going on in our country right now.
Well,
We're murdering people.
yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, but this what can I say? Humans, we just like to kill each other, especially if they don't agree with the same things we do.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Or if they have oil.
Or if they have oil. Yeah.
Energy. He's talking about.
You're my best friend.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're taking over that now. We've decided we're to violate all the laws.
We need the land.
Yeah, especially if it has that oil, right?
Yeah, it's for your own good.
Venezuela's loaded. Venezuela's loaded with it.
It reminds me of the first episode of Beverly Hillbillies when they found the black stuff in their property and the person came in and said they'll buy it or whatever. Yeah, you can have it there. That stuff no good for the pigs or something.
It's no good for the hogs, yeah. Yeah, and then they end up moving to Beverly Hills, man.
That's it.
Black gold.
Texas.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
But my favorite was Flipper still. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we're on the oil thing, so I thought, that came into it.
Yeah, for sure. So we can talk about other classic.
It all went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some great classic shows from back in those days, man.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, us oldies remember all the goodies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you youngins there, like Evans and Adriana, you guys probably don't really remember.
The youngins.
The youngins.
Excuse me, I resemble that remark.
The wee shavers.
Wait, who's the youngest here? How old are you, Evans?
I am 28.
Okay, so I'm the youngest.
That brings up another topic for you, Neil, that I can bring up to make. If you want me to keep doing this all the time, I don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah. Religion in TV, how things were censored for the public, whether it be how things were portrayed in life. You know, like there was things like even marriage. You weren't allowed to be a show of people living in the same bed as a married couple. They had to have two single beds.
A good example of that would be the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh,
and I Love Lucy, another one.
My mom loves I Love Lucy, so I've seen all of it.
Oh yeah, it was a funny show. I think the first comedy, anyways, to introduce couples in the same bed was the Brady Bunch. To believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah, they were in the same bed, weren't they? I wonder what they were
Yes,
doing.
that's right.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Faye.
Hey,
Oh,
What's
Faye.
going on, Wonder Lady?
Hey, Wonder Lady.
Hi.
Well, it did make it easier for the screenshots when they were filming them talking to have them in the same bed.
Yes, yeah, when they got the up close screenshots and
Yeah,
stuff, yeah.
yeah.
And then once that happened, it just became rampant in all of the TV. But sure, I mean, people that had religious intentions were involved in these shows definitely wanted to keep it a little low key, right? Because it was
Yeah.
naughty, right? That kind of thing.
Well, there's another example with I Dream of Jeannie. Did you ever see her not walk out of the bedroom of Tony's bedroom?
You know what? I don't recall. To be
Yeah.
honest,
I
I
don't
was
think
always
so.
She
I
was
was always
always
mesmerized by her outfit.
They always make
She was in the bottle all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
in
what
I
you
Dream
think-
of Jeannie, they considered her outfit too skimpy,
Yeah,
Oh my
and they
god.
forced her to put a Band-Aid over her navel. She couldn't show that.
yeah, that's right.
yeah, the
That's right.
navel
Oh
thing. Yeah, the
my.
navel thing. Yeah,
The
that
first
was
couple
part of
of
it.
episodes, though, she was pregnant.
Yeah, well, she was in for a few of them, I believe. I just read a little
Yeah.
biography on
Yeah,
that.
she was married to that Maharaji one that you kept mentioning again.
And there goes the string.
Oh, no.
I
What were, we
do.
what were we talking about again?
I Dream of Jeannie and her amazing outfit.
Religion and TV.
No, we're talking about censorship and morals,
Censorship
and
in TV.
religious, whatever you call it in TV and stuff.
Influence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like they did to Hugh Hefner. It was really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, he even had his own show too.
Yep.
Right? The whatever the heck it was, I can't remember what it was called, but it always had him, and then he'd have some famous person come and visit the mansion, and the girls were always walking around in the background with their bunny ears and stuff.
Oh, that was a good show. I saw some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But they were so relaxed in the 70s, though, like for some of the TV shows, like comedy shows and talk shows and things like that, they started to get more relaxed in what they could say. Somebody must have put their foot down about all the censorship and what could be shown.
I think it was Merv Griffin, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I think it was Merv would have, for the time, he would have a lot more controversial. Well, I would say be him because he didn't go for too long, but also the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson for sure.
Yeah,
broke ground with talk shows, definitely. Duke, what's going on, man? You haven't said crap since you walked in here.
Everybody was talking. I always get yelled at for that.
Never stopped you before, bud.
Yeah, he's all gun shy now.
Glass houses, Evans. Glass houses.
What are you talking about?
Lydia, this is my friend Duke that just joined us as well.
Got to get censored coming on, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Have we met before? Like on Twitter?
Yeah. I'm sorry. What?
Possible.
Have we met before through Twitter or something?
I don't know. I've only been on the Free From the Way. I just started that about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
The other one's politics, and I like to keep them separate. Because
right.
then everybody, those people are so nasty.
I did something too. I have two Twitters. One of them is insects are cool, and on that one I just talk about insects. And then the other one is just my name. It's just Adriana Star. And that one I might talk about atheism or something.
Mm-hmm. Adriana Star, like that's got to be like one of the coolest names ever.
That is.
It is. It sounds like you should be a girlfriend for one of the people from Kiss.
How's Faye been doing?
Huh?
Hey, I said, how have you been doing? Yes, you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say something awful, Faye.
Oh, you have to give me inspiration.
I'll think about it. I'll shoot you something in a minute. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I've been good though. I've been working and I've been trying to learn how to edit videos, and I'm making slow progress with that. I'm also writing for a project that I will be releasing in June, I hope. Yeah. Don't
Can you give
know.
any details, or is this kind of a hush-hush, top secret kind of thing?
Well, it's not hush-hush, but I don't know if I can pull it off, so I don't want to say. I'm
Oh,
gonna have
I
to
gotcha.
buy some software. Like, I don't want to say, "Oh, I'm gonna be doing this," and then turn around and like, I can't do it. You know,
Yeah.
like that's kind of like but I do wanna, there's things that I'm working on for YouTube that are taking up quite a bit of my time. So I feel like I'm living and breathing this stuff. I'm frustrated because I'm not good at video editing, and not there. I've been trying to complete a project for Johnny Drive By actually for like the last couple of weeks, and I just keep failing. So
Liddy left.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
It's me.
Oh my god.
Turning out better stuff than I can.
What happened to her?
Here we go, guys. Here's your local AL.com news for the day. Prayer closet, the only thing left standing after Alabama tornado. My God, is awesome.
Right.
So this family just had their entire house destroyed. Luckily, they weren't hurt because they happened to be in the closet that's in the center of the house. It's weird how that works.
Yeah.
But that was Grandma's prayer closet. And so even though the whole house got destroyed and some other people got hurt, God, he's pretty cool. Prayer
He's good all the
closet's
time,
left
dude.
standing. Yeah.
It's good
Yeah.
all the time.
That just, it's like it's like those stories. It's like, well, the house burned down and Grandma died, but the Bible, the leather
Yeah,
bound
I was just going to
book
say that one.
survived. It's the same thing. Like your house is gone, right? You know?
Well, and are you forgetting that
People
God's the one who
died.
caused the storm?
Yeah. That's what
Exactly.
I'm like this close to going on a Facebook rant.
Well, dude,
Like the
God
fucking
caused the
house is
storm.
gone, and you're
God caused
praising
the
God that the
storm.
closet survived. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. But there's too many homosexuals, so he had to send.
Yeah, well, and
Is
the
it
closet
like?
didn't
Isn't
even
that?
make it well. I mean, it's
Yeah,
Isn't that like? Isn't that like the
that-
cross that the cross that was left standing at the World Trade Center, and people are like, "Look, it's in the shape of a cross," and it's like, "Yeah, that's a structural thing."
cross races exist. Whenever your religious symbol is two intersecting lines, you're bound to see it freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
Show me
I
a
mean,
star of David that's left standing, and I'll be impressed.
Yeah. or I love how
Show me a freaking
you got a
moon, like the
nacho.
Muslim moon.
You got
Yeah,
a nacho that looks like Mother Teresa or Jesus burnt into your toast.
yeah.
Or it's called pareidolia, people.
Yeah.
Not
That's
your
what it's
witness.
called.
Not your witness.
What about?
You just said nutcha.
Oh no, nacho, not nacho.
Well, on
Hey.
Amazon, you can now buy a toaster that's specifically designed to burn the image of Jesus into every slice.
Yeah, I've
Oh
seen.
my lord.
Actually, God is with us in the chat right now. Well, the good one, anyway.
Yeah, God raid.
Yeah, he's doing a God raid. He might
Oh,
be.
cool.
You never know.
Well, hey, he gave me a boost today and finally pushed my channel over 100 subscribers, so I got my
Oh,
custom
really?
URL.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah, I retweeted that too.
That's awesome.
I'm desperate for people to subscribe and watch, but I'm not making videos for another couple of weeks. So
Well, that's okay. They'll come, man. And God, the good one, I'm doing great, man. I hope you are too. Yeah, he did that for me once too. He got me a few subscribers too, and we did that. He did one of his grow your channel things because I try to pop in to his little things that he does on YouTube whenever I have the opportunity to when I'm working in the lab or something like that, right? So, and Lydia, he's got a great channel. He's hysterically funny,
Who's
and God the Good One is his channel. And
the good one. That sounds
yeah, and he's got the God mask. It's this white mask with the face drawn on it and the
that's
beard.
hilarious.
And it's amazingly funny, and he's a really funny dude and a great guy too. So, yeah, he's another Brit. We have a lot of Brits that well, it's because I'm Canadian, you see, and we're the closest thing to Brits as you can be. So,
Right.
and I've been there too. I was there in the '80s. I saw. I think it was the second or third to last show that the Sex Pistols did before they hit America again for their final leg of that tour. and it was months before Sid Vicious died. So I actually got to see Sid Vicious before he died, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I saw there was the Sex Pistols, and they also had Crass playing, and there was a third band that was like some local punk band that I don't even remember what the hell they were called.
Hey Neil, have you delved into this God Exiled guy at all?
No, I
Dude,
at his profile.
This guy's a freaking nutcase. Wait.
I kind of figured.
Oh no, wait. It's and I'm a parent who sadly now will kill those who don't believe.
What?
No time if you have a moral code anymore. You have belief, you can be worked on. You don't yet. That time was earlier. Like, this dude is like, he's got the hottest of takes, man. His takes are so hot that like they're burning the sun.
Really? What we're talking about, Lydia, is this guy came on my channel today.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it said that I'm asking people to bring me negative bullshit or something. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I looked briefly at his thing. I don't know. Some of it looked like okay, but who knows? I keep losing the internet.
He got his one warning from me.
God the Good One wants me on this Thursday panel.
Good.
Okay, I'll keep an eye. I'll keep an eye out for that. And
very, very lucky.
I would definitely join there for sure. Absolutely.
A special guest.
Yeah, because he plays guitar too. Like God the Good One plays guitar as well.
Cool.
And he's some of his lyrics are just hysterical. Or when he's like does some of the stuff that he does himself, or he'll play like cover stuff too, which is a lot of fun.
Well, what do you play, Neil?
I'm just a singer, man. I'm the guy that hangs out with the musicians.
Okay.
I can play a little drums. I can play a little bit of guitar, a little bit of bass. I can play a little bit of piano. I can play a little bit of trumpet.
Mm-hmm. I can play the radio.
I can play. Yeah, I can turn the switch. Yeah. Or the Jews harp. And play one of those.
I hated it in high school when we did music, and if you had to get the triangle, that was the worst thing ever.
Really?
Yeah, the triangle. Oh, here comes my big moment.
Yeah.
Who was that?
You have to count like 80 measures before that or something. Yeah.
Yeah. You're counting in your head. Here it comes. Woo! Everyone ready? All right. Yeah. Imagine having to do a triangle solo. Like, it's like, oh, dinner's ready? Okay.
And the clarinet flute thing, or whatever they called that thing.
Don't even talk about the clarinet flute, because then we got to talk about Bandcamp.
Thing or whatever it was.
The clarinet flute thing.
Those are two different instruments.
Yes, they are.
We had a recorder, so it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Recorders,
we did the recorder thing
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can play that too. Really shitty, but I can play it.
I can't play.
I learned how to play the Star Wars theme song on the trumpet, which was awesome.
I can't play. I can't play one of those big tube things, those long tubey things.
A didgeridoo?
Trombone?
That's it.
Oh, didgeridoo.
Or tuba. Yeah.
Didgeridoos make fucking cool sounds, man. Mm-hmm. Every time I hear it in a song, I'm like, that's cool that they play.
Mm-hmm.
Or get a bit of PVC pipe, a long piece. For practice.
Adrian's like so many moderators.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's everyone that comes to my chat's a fucking moderator nowadays. So.
And you get a wrench. And you get a wrench.
Yeah,
you get a wrench.
Yeah.
Some of these rules are nasty, though. You need a moderator on some of them.
Yeah. Oh, these guys keep people in line. Don't you worry about it, especially Mrs. Snarky. But this is all her idea, anyways, to make me the Oprah of wrenches. You get a wrench? You get a wrench?
Yeah.
I'm so snarky. I also play a long tubey thing.
I just like the word. I just like the wrench just because it makes my username blue.
Yeah, because it matches your icon.
Yeah.
Your little avatar there.
Oh yeah.
It's not a wrench. That's me spanner.
That's my spanner. Yeah, that's it.
Me.
Oh, David's here. When the hell did David sneak in here?
No,
Dude, Non Sequitur is doing a show with Aaron Raw,
Yeah.
and Aaron Raw's cartoon character looks like the lead singer from Monster Magnet.
Sweet. I always thought he kind of looked more like the dude from what do you call it, Metalocalypse or whatever.
Yeah. What is his? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't think of the character's name. Explosion. Nathan Explosion.
Yes.
Who was actually based on Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse.
Corpse Grinder, which is Peter Steele, is it not?
No, Peter Steele is from Typo Negative.
Yeah, which was Cannibal Corpse.
Not that I know of.
Or
Corpse
wait, what am I
Grinder.
thinking of? Because before they were Typo Negative, there was somebody else, and I can't remember who the fuck it was now.
Yeah, but Cannibal Corpse has always been Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
Peter Corpse Grinder something, his nickname is Corpse Grinder, is the lead singer now. And like he literally went to Brandon, what's his name, who does Metalocalypse, and was like, "You stole my character." And Brandon was like, "Yeah, I did."
Well, at least he didn't lie about it.
Nathan Explosion is completely you. And if you ever watch like him perform, it's obvious.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, guys, because I've got to stretch myself out thin today.
Okay.
So I just thought I'd drop in for a little while. I usually get the tail end or nearly the whole lot or the after party, but you guys can hang out with me today.
Okay,
Okay, man.
catch you later, Terry.
we're gonna miss you, Terry.
We'll make do, buddy. We'll
I
make
miss
do.
you too, Evan. Bye for now.
See you later, buddy. Yeah, my after party isn't going to be a super long one because I'm going to see Captain Marvel. So
Ooh, it's good.
yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
We can discuss
next
the
move-
problems that I have with it afterwards. But
Okay. fair enough.
my problem was I was promised SJW stuff and I didn't get any.
No, all that's in her rant before that, right? That she did, that everyone was screaming about.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it, like, because I was like, yeah. But
Hold
then-
on here.
What?
Have you?
We have a puppy.
Oh,
Yeah, I see a puppy.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it featuring? That's weird. It won't feature you, Lydia. That's strange.
Have you seen the?
I think
have
she
you,
froze.
yeah, she
Yeah,
froze.
she's froze.
Have you guys seen the video about how racist the Captain Marvel movie is?
No.
How is it racist?
Well, because Captain Marvel, the first female Captain Marvel was a black lady back in the 80s.
No. She was the second.
She was the second Captain Marvel. But the first Captain Marvel was a male, though.
Okay, Captain Marvel is a title, and it's been aliens, it's been men, it's been women, it's been a kid, for fuck's sakes. Captain Marvel's just a title. And the first female Captain Marvel that they introduced in the Marvel Universe was the one that we see in the movie. And the replacement was the black girl in the Avengers. And she didn't have quite the same powers.
Yeah, because Carol Danvers was the iconoclastic Captain Marvel.
She's the one that got the powers from the Kree dude.
Yeah.
Well, the first Captain Marvel was a dude, though, right? Died of cancer in the 80s. He was a Kree guy. Died of cancer in the 80s. And his big enemy was Thanos. Because I remember in the book where he dies, Thanos comes to him and gives him one last battle and kills him with honor.
That was pre-Infinity Gauntlet stuff, though.
Oh man.
See, I thought that Carol Danvers came after.
No, she reclaimed it after. She took a break from being Captain Marvel. But the thing is the girl that replaced her, the black lady that replaced her, didn't have the full capacity of powers that Carol Danvers had.
No, she wasn't super strong.
No.
She was very fast, though. She was like light speed fast, so she could use light.
Yes.
Because I don't remember Carol. I don't remember Carol Danvers as a kid. I remember the black Captain Marvel and the white male Captain Marvel, and I don't. And then there was what was her name? The one that Rogue. Is Carol Danvers the one that Rogue? Because was she originally Captain Marvel?
Yep. No, Carol Danvers. No. Rogue was never Captain Marvel.
Rogue stole
powers.
Yeah. Okay. Was she going by Captain Marvel then? 'Cause I thought she had a different name. I thought it was like.
No, She's always been Rogue.
I thought it was like Marvel Girl or
Marvel Girl's somebody different.
Yeah.
Rogue
The
stole her
new
powers
Marvel
from a lady with
Girl's
a.
got stretchy powers, right? You see the new Marvel Girl.
Elastigirl.
It's
Essentially.
very similar. Similar, yeah.
I really don't need to buy a new mic, but HyperX just launched one that looks so good.
Look at you. He wants to upgrade already, huh?
Oh, dude, nah, it matches my headphones. It's the HyperX Red.
Oh, gotcha.
It's awesome. I'm
It's
really
all
really
about
excited.
accessorizing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like it's actually a really good one too. It's not that expensive.
What are we talking money wise?
About 150.
That's not bad. So that's about $6,000 in Canada.
Okay, I see why I was confused by that. Her name wasn't Captain Marvel; it was Miss Marvel. Carol Danvers' original name was Miss Marvel, not Captain Marvel, and then she comes back as Captain Marvel. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah,
gotcha. That's where I was confused, because like the title Captain Marvel wasn't ascribed to her originally. She was a Kree, but like at the time that she was Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel was the male Captain Marvel, whose name
The blonde guy.
it's escaping me right now.
Was it Adam Warlock that was?
No, Adam Warlock's a totally different.
Yeah, you're right.
Beast. He was actually made by a group of scientists, and then he was discovered by the High Evolutionary, who gave him the Soul Gem.
That's right.
And he was taught by him, and then well, I should know this. This is one of those things where I guess like in my brain I've just forgotten his. Marvell was his actual name.
Yeah.
MAR-VELL, but I can't remember what his human counterpart name was. I'm looking it up now because it's going to drive me absolutely.
Well, he was
crazy.
but he made himself look human.
The film version is vastly different from any of the comic book versions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a separate universe, right? So comparing the two is silly in my opinion. Because the way that the movies unfold is nothing like any of the comic books that I'm aware of. Like some of the names are the same, like Marvell is there, but it's not the way that the comic books had it. How Carol gets her powers is different. The whole shooting match. So you're really like comparing apples to oranges whenever you start talking about the cinematic universe needs to be like the comic book universe.
No,
they're not.
They're not even the same universe. They're separate universes.
No, they're totally separate universes.
Like when you're talking about like all the characters we're talking about right now are Keystone Universe characters. They're Marvel 616 characters. They're canon to that universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is entirely separate. Yep. And I mean, you could actually base that on every movie, almost every movie that's been made, specifically the Infinity War, the Infinity Gauntlet thing. That's nothing like the comic book.
Nope.
Well, not only that, but I mean these movies have all been climaxing to the Infinity War. So I mean series, the 3 stages of this is going to be the Infinity series or whatever they decided to cap it at. It's going to end with Endgame. So we're going to get another generation of movie heroes, but it's still going to be a separate universe. So there's really no comparison, right? It's like other comic book universes that are separate from each other.
I think the guy that said it the best, and I know a lot of people don't like him, but he's a YouTuber. He's called A Dose of Buckley. And he was talking about how, like, comic book fans are always shitting themselves over how the movies don't follow the canon. And he was like, comic book movies are not made for comic book fans. They're made for general masses. You know what I mean? If you made the Infinity Gauntlet, for instance, the way the original Infinity Gauntlet was, if you weighed Thanos' quest and all that stuff, nobody's going to know who any of these fucking characters are. You know what I mean? There's like a half a dozen characters in there that your average Joe Schmoes walking on the streets going to have no fucking idea what's going on. So it just makes better sense to twerk it and tweak it and make it, work for everybody.
It's its own entity that people can follow. Yeah. You can literally walk into any of these Marvel movies that have been made over the years and not have a clue about the comic books and still enjoy it and still follow a storyline.
Yeah, and also still have a working knowledge of a Marvel universe that's separate from all the other universes. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to, because it was back when I was reading comic books all the time in my teens, because I haven't read comic books regularly since I was probably 19 years old. But back then, that was a full-time fucking job. especially with Marvel comics, because when you would read a Marvel comic, there'd be some cameo in the middle of it, and it'd be like, buy Thor 526
Yeah, the crossovers. Yeah.
to see what's happening here, and it's like, well, fuck, now I gotta go buy fucking Thor 526. Gotta mow lawns.
Oh yeah,
That's
buddy.
the same here. That I followed the Marvel comics in the 70s and 80s, but I've got no idea what's happened to them since then.
If you talk to me about, for the most part, if you talk to me about Marvel comics from 1995 back, I have a pretty rooted knowledge in most of what happened.
Ditto. Pretty much exact same time period.
After, like, when Spawn came out and when X Factor came out and when Rob Liefeld got big, I was like, I'm done. I'm just done. Like, it got to where, like, everybody had to be an anti-hero. They all had to have these crazy, weird, like, problems. And I didn't care for it anymore. I just didn't like it. And I hate Rob Liefeld. The Passion of a Thousand Suns, I despise his art style.
I wasn't a huge Liefeld fan, but I always liked Marv Wolfman. I like who did the Titans, Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
I liked, of course, Frank Miller is probably my favorite.
I like
his version of Wolverine was phenomenal.
It was. I like John Romita Jr.
John Romita Jr. Yeah.
Arthur Adams is a big one of mine. Ron Lim was a big one for me. What's his name? Neil Adams. I think the Neil Adams Batman is the most iconic Batman of all time. Like the 1980s Blue Cape Batman. When he switched over to where he became kind of a hard ass. Yeah, well, I'm talking about like Death in the Family.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That era of Batman, you know what I mean, is to me like the most iconic version of Batman. And I love the way he drew him. I love the way he made him move. Later on, he became more kind of like armored with like different stuff. And I don't know, there was something about just the good old fashioned, it was like a melding of the good old fashioned Batman. And then Batman is just a flat out hard ass. He'll kick your ass in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, that's my favorite Batman. Whenever I play Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, I always play as the Neil Adams Batman.
Actually, yeah, I did the Arkham Asylum as the Neil Adams one too. Which was fun.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. And Mrs. Snarky, I just want to make a point. She said she was talking about, she's calling us nerds because we're talking about comic book stuff. And yet at the same time watching DS9 in the background. But she said she liked mythology as a teenager. But if you think about it, comic books are like modern day mythologies.
Yeah.
Except our heroes just happen to be in colorful capes and masks and stuff like that rather than Greek togas and shit like that, right?
Well, they've actually borrowed a lot from mythology when you think about it. And they also borrow
even Hercules was an Avenger.
Well, also there's Norse mythology in there, and
Thor,
there's a bit of classic literature. You can find a lot of the common themes from like Anglo-Saxon lit leaks its way into comic books.
Are there many characters designed after those kind of things? Like one of them I could think off the top of my head was Gentleman Ghost.
Yeah,
not just character designs, but sometimes even the plot lines will.
Yeah.
And explore.
Y'all ever heard
a
of the
bit.
Hero's Journey?
Yeah.
It's I showed a bunch of comic books to one of my lit professors and got her into them.
Cool.
Speaking of mythology, I just finished Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. I cannot recommend it higher. It's so goddamn good. If you can get the Audible version where he reads it himself, it is so fucking good. I was actually tearing up a little bit at the end on the way to work this morning.
Cool.
I listened to that many times.
It's a good listen. For
sure. What was I listening to today? As I also listen to audiobooks sometimes when I'm working, and I was listening to for crying out loud, I hate. See, this is another thing about getting old that sucks. Better Angels of Our Nature.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh man, come on, you're killing me. What's Steven Pinker?
Carl Sagan? Steven Pinker.
Yes, thank you. I was listening to some of that today. This is very good. Very good book.
Enlightenment Now was really good.
I was listening. I I haven't made it all the way through that, but I was loving it. I stopped reading it because I stopped listening to it because I don't have any of the graphs. So I'm going to buy the book, or I think you can find just the graphs online. Just
It
the
should have an
different.
accompaniment PDF with it.
It didn't come with it when I got it on Audible, so I already, or I didn't see it.
You may want to go back and check again. I'm almost positive it. I mean, I've got the book.
I've got 5 unused credits though on Audible.
Awesome.
And like for the last 2 years, like my listening has been Enlightenment Now, the War of Art, Thinking Fast and Slow, The Righteous Mind, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Sapiens. It's been nothing but like that kind of thing. And I think I'm just going to buy 5 fiction books.
Ooh, The Name of the Wind. Get The Name of the Wind.
Faye, you were going to say something.
Is that the first one in the series you're talking about?
No. This is the King Killer Chronicles. This is by Patrick Rouflass, something like that. Anyways, Faye.
I've been listening to The Royal Art of Poison.
What's that?
It's about basically looking through historical accounts of royals who either were murdered or accidentally poisoned themselves or died of natural occurrences. But a lot of this is like looking into history and actually examining bodies and etc etc etc. A lot of people who thought, who we have thought were poisoned weren't, and some of them who we thought died of natural causes were actually murdered or accidentally killed by their own they got sick and they would a lot of the medicines from the time included things like mercury and arsenic, and they didn't realize that they were slowly poisoning themselves.
Yes, but there was once a better time to live, Faye. You got to remember that. Like it was,
Never, actually. I mean, it's not great now, but it's definitely. I wouldn't want to go back in time and, drop this like belladonna into your eyes. No, thank you. But some of the cosmetics women used, but yet you would have these people like insisting that their servants lick their spoons or eat their food first, or even handle their gloves and clothes and blah 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 to make sure that they weren't going to put on something that had been poisoned or tainted. Meanwhile, they are purposefully smearing themselves with like mercury and lead, and like Henry VIII, one of his they haven't gone into him specifically yet, but the thing is, the idea is, if you've looked at some of the historical documentaries, there's one on Henry VIII, and he had a leg ulcer that he had this poultice he would make for himself, and it had lead in it, so he was constantly exposed to lead, which might explain his paranoia and his violence.
Wasn't that an explanation for some of the craziness of some of the Greek and Roman Caesars as well? Yes. Because they used lead pans to make their wine and stuff, and so, they use lead in everything, and like it just got into your system because lead never leaves your system. Once it gets in, it's there. It just builds until you lose your friggin' mind.
Yeah, a lot of the glazed pottery of the noble class used lead glazes on their pottery because it showed up nicely. It looked great. You could do more with color, and they were slowly poisoning themselves.
But one of my favorite comics of all time is this lady. She's like reading Wuthering Heights or something like that. She closes the book and she looks up with this like super just nostalgic eyes, and she said, "If only I'd been born in another time." And the next one, she's standing in a dress and all her kids are sick. She says, "My 9 kids have polio. Also, I can't vote."
You just add on a bit of smallpox where her looks are gone, but that's another thing. Servants were likely not to be hired unless they had the scars of smallpox. instead of you didn't want the healthiest looking people, you wanted people who actually looked like they had the disease and survived, because then they couldn't get it again, and they were more likely to be hired rather than someone who was fresh faced.
That makes sense.
Mr. Nacho Witnesses joined the chat, just so you know. Well, guys, I have to shut her down pretty quick because I'm, like I said, going to see Captain Marvel, and we're going to go have some food first before we're going to found this little burger joint nearby that's really, really good.
How it is.
So yeah,
Food in a movie.
Well,
better than us.
You actually you bring your. I prepaid for the movies, so you bring the tab in, and you get like 15% off the bill. So yeah, it's their dinner and a movie deal. So it's pretty cool.
The next movie I'm going to see is going to be Pet Sematary for sure.
What?
I'm holding out. I'm going. I've heard
that.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. I watched some of the previews and some of the clips for it. It's going to be fucking dope. I loved that book. I loved that movie when I was a kid. They've made some very interesting plot twists to it, the changes that I'm interested in seeing play out, and I will be going to see that. Awesome. I don't watch the Marvel movies in the theaters just because I'd rather sit in my house and watch them. Because I'd like to be able to pause them and think, and then go back and refresh, and go back and look and see where they diverge and do all that stuff.
Comic books on screen. What do you need to think for?
I need to think about the old stuff. I need to think about how it fits in, what they've done to change, and all that stuff. It's important to me.
Weren't we just saying that you don't try to match?
No. I don't poo-poo them over it. I just want to see where they divulge. It's like I don't ever I'm not ever watching it and being like, well, that sucked because they should have done it this way. I just look at it and think. I like to look at it and think, okay, they did it this way. Why did they do it that way? You know what I mean?
Okay. I
like to tear them apart. Take my time with them.
See, if anyone touched my comics like that and tried to tear them apart, I would punch the shit out of them. Because I had them in the bags and everything with the cardboard backing and everything. I didn't allow people to. I was like Brody from fucking Mallrats. Like I tried to teach you how to fucking handle comics when you were 12. No, don't touch. Put some fucking gloves on before you read that, because the acid from your fingers is going to eat away at the cover. And it's true too. It does. That's why they keep them. I remember the original bags that they came up with for storing your comic books in. They ended up getting rid of them because they ended up being shitty, and they used some sort of Mylar mix thing instead. So I had to rebag hundreds of comics at one point with this new bag that didn't harm the comics as like the old one did. Oh, that was exciting. All right, well, I'm gonna call it quits anyways, guys, because I'm gonna go and grab some food before this movie. And I really hope it's going to be a good show. But I've heard nothing but good things about it from people that I trust.
It's good. There are a few issues, but it's overall a very enjoyable movie.
I hear people say that about all those Marvel movies, and I go into them and I watch them and I come out and I go, I don't see any fucking issues. So it's not bang on. Who cares? It was a great show. I've liked all of them.
You should pick up on what I'm talking about. I won't spoil anything, but we can talk about it later.
Okay. Fair enough. Maybe we'll have our own little. Maybe we'll do a video on this and we can discuss.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe
it was really good. I'm gonna get the Blu-ray whenever it comes out. I'm gonna watch it again. It was really good, but there were a few things that I was like, you can tell what they're doing though. Anyways, that's enough of that.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in and hanging out with us for this last hour. It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, my guest of honor could not stay connected, so she had to drop out. Adriana, stop hogging the conversation. And and same with you, Purple. But I saw you chatting up with people in the chat, so that's cool. Keeping them occupied.
I'm fighting off a flu virus, so my voice isn't too good.
I was gonna say, you sound like shit, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I can't even you're suffering a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I got my 100 subscribers, but I can't do anything with it. I'm going to have to wait a week or so until I get my voice back.
You can celebrate in private. You don't need to have people on here. Crack open a nice bottle of scotch. That
Neil,
should help.
Go eat and watch a movie.
Okay,
We love
yeah,
you,
you're
but
right.
we want you to have fun too.
I know. As Duke says,
Love you
go
very much.
Go have your life.
Yeah, go have your life, and then come back to us.
Of course, always.
Okay.
All right, so
Because
tune in.
happiness.
Trust me, I'm one of the happiest people you'll ever meet.
I know. I know.
This coming Wednesday, guys, I'll be chatting with Kyle Curtis from Non-Sex Show. So tune in for that one. It'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific.
He's not my favorite person at the moment.
Hate, I'm gonna miss that one, Neil.
I'll be there.
That's all right.
But I will.
That's all right.
I will support you.
Oh.
I'll just skip that one.
That's
I'll
fine.
definitely be there. I'll definitely be there. I'm interested in the after. I'll be interested in the after show. I'm talking to Kyle.
Okay, there you go. I'm sure. I don't know if he'll come for the after party or not because he's a pretty busy guy. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Like Steve couldn't when I interviewed Steve, so we'll see what happens.
He's not my favorite person either. Anyway, I'm honest.
Yeah, true enough, and that's one of the things that I actually like about you is your honesty, and you can't please 100% people 100% of the time, so I never expect to.
And last night,
you don't have to.
And last night, all those people were at my show.
All those ones? That's what happened.
Anyway, love.
All
have
right.
a good one.
All right, love you guys. Thanks for jumping in with me. And until next time, remember, guys, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. I'll see you